I have autistic spectrum disorder, and this is why Davidsfarm exists. I learned about this about 6 or 7 years ago watching a TV show that's filmed in Vancouver, Canada, called The Good Doctor. It's a very good series. First 2 episodes show how this doctor is extremely talented, but has a whole bunch of other issues, especially social ones, and how autistic spectrum disorder is the reason for both of these things. And when they showed a pictorial image of how his mind worked, I was astounded to realize that's how my mind works. And if you want to see how my mind works, and maybe yours, see if you can download or watch the first 2 episodes of The Good Doctor. Now, Davidsfarm exists because of my spectrum disorder. This is why I'm different, why I've been picked on all my life. Kids can pick this up right away when you're different. And I never knew why I was picked on, but they always can tell when someone's different. I was bullied, teased, and I always felt like an alien in a human's body. I couldn't understand why I was different. Now, long ago, autism was always recognized, and it was applied to people, or the diagnosis anyways, to people who couldn't function by themselves and had to be taken care of. Many of them couldn't talk. Many of them were in their own world and couldn't fit in even to their social life within their parents' family. They just were in a different world, and all of them had to be taken care of. But in the last 20 to 25 years, psychiatric doctors have realized that there's a whole lot of more people within the spectrum. And the spectrum goes from autistic spectrum to Asperger's. It's one whole range. We all have similar symptoms within this range. If you Google adult symptoms of autistic spectrum disorder, there's some sites have 10 lists of symptoms, some have 15. Nobody has every symptom. So if you want to Google it to see if you're within the spectrum, Google adult symptoms of autistic spectrum disorder and go to several different sites to get a good idea of these symptoms. If you have 5 or more symptoms, there's a very good likelihood that you have this disorder. Nobody has all the symptoms. There's social issues, hypersensitivities, change, sensitivity to light, sensitivity to touch. Sometimes people can't feel pain. Sometimes people can't look people in the eyes when they're talking. They have a different way of thinking when you're in the spectrum. Other people might not comprehend how you think, and so you act differently. You don't pick up on normal social cues. You don't react to social cues in a way a normal person would. Level 2, there's 3 classifications. Fully autistic, which means you're non-functioning, probably can't talk, probably can't take care of yourself, and probably living in your own world, not recognizing everybody else's world and your family around you. Then there's stage 2, which is semi-functional. You may have been able to finish school and pass. You may have a job. You may be able to maybe own your own home or have your own apartment. You maybe live by yourself with occasional assistance from family or friends, or someone who's a professional. And then there's level 3, which is the highest version, and that's high functioning autistic spectrum disorder. That's me, where I'm quite successful, quite different than other people. It's unfortunate I had to live most of my life not knowing what was wrong with me, and I am certainly able to earn a good living, and I am able to take care of myself in every single way, whether I'm living alone or living with somebody else. Some people in the spectrum have gifts. Most people don't. I think about 95% of people who are in the spectrum don't have any gifts, and I say that they have missing links where they have certain parts of their software in their head that just isn't the same as other people, or because something seems to be missing. The 5% of people that have gifts can sometimes have them in a spectacular way. Like they could be Einstein with a super high IQ, or Mozart, or a great musical artist, or a very talented artist with their hands, whether it's with a brush or a sculptor, or a scientist or a mathematician. Or have a photographic memory. I do have some gifts. I have a pretty good photographic memory. I was tested for my IQ by a psychiatrist 33 years ago, and it was in the 170s, and that's sort of in the range of Einstein. He's believed to be in the spectrum also. I have, what do you call it? I'm a prodigy with technical stuff, and that's part of what made me famous on YouTube. And I'm really good at telling the time without ever wearing a watch or having a cell phone, or what temperature it is. So it's helped me a lot in my life. I'm really happy that I actually have it, because I can't imagine how boring my life would be, or would have been, if I had been a normal person and never been the crazy David Rock of Davidsfarm, who did all the fun and crazy things and bought a place to do it. There's a whole lot of different hypersensitivities people in the spectrum can have. Well, my hypersensitivities are, one is to light. I'm not wearing sunglasses now and I'm in the shade, but my eyes are quite strained. I even have to wear sunglasses on cloudy days. The only place I don't have to wear them is inside of buildings if the doors are closed and there's some curtains and stuff. I can't watch TV if the lights are on. I have to have all the lights off in the house unless I'm in a room not watching TV and I need a light. I can't even drive my van with the instrument lights on, or any other vehicle. I'm also sensitive to sound. I hate loud sounds and always try to avoid them, and I don't like loud vehicles either. I'm sensitive to touch. So when I'm riding my motorcycle without clothes, the sun and wind just feels absolutely amazing, because things to me are, I can feel them more. So I'm wearing clothes now, but normally I prefer not to, because they feel terrible. So that's why I'm a nudist, and it's very common. It's a very common symptom in the spectrum to be someone who prefers not to wear clothes because of the sensitivity to touch. And this is always recognized from childhood on. It doesn't make any difference whether you're male or female. You have the same propensity to have that sensitivity to not liking to wear clothes. I don't wear socks or underwear either. I'm sensitive to artificial smells like fabric softener, perfumes, car scenting things, body rub lotions, or things you put on your skin. They'll make me sick. I can't smoke a cigarette because I just can't do it. I start gagging. I can't even smoke pot because I start gagging. I don't do any drugs. I'm sensitive to sugar and salt and wish everything had half as much. I'm very sensitive to caffeine. So I'm glad I ended up with autistic spectrum disorder. Like I mentioned earlier, my life probably would have been so ordinary and boring had I been normal. I never would have been rich and famous. I never would have had this farm. I never would have got to enjoy life without clothes and see how great it is when everybody else is missing unless they're like me. I have extra talents that most people don't have. And the unfortunate thing is, I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life because I didn't know I had this disorder. So me seeing the world a different way than other people do, and not sensing things in the world and social stuff and interactions with other people the way a normal person would. I didn't say the right things or do the right things often. And that's the one guaranteed symptom you have if you're within the spectrum, is social issues. Now, if you're male, you're 4 times more likely to have the disorder than a female, and nobody knows why. And you're also a very good chance you might have a lot of hypersensitivities or just a few hypersensitivities. Another symptom, especially for males, is, it's noticed even at birth, is it's common, but not always, they have a larger head than normal. I do. I know a couple of my male children, when they were born, their head was off the scale for measuring a newborn baby's head. I know some people who are in the spectrum, and some of them have larger heads than normal too. It's most noticeable when you're a child. So, well, this is why I am the way I am. My eyes are watering because I don't have sunglasses on, and it's a cloudy day. So that's why I'm acting a little bit weird with my eyes. I'm blinking a lot. Can't wait to put them on. But that's why I am the way I am. Crazy as ever, but now I'm retired and not much to do anymore.